Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing.
Mostly sunny today, at least. Was pretty sunny for a while yesterday.
I think until like 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, it should be sunny, and then clouds move in. Pretty windy, though, I think.
Yeah,
And not like warm, but sunny.
I did have plans to get out and clean up some stuff in my yard yesterday, and then I was watching the wind, and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be fun. So I didn't. Maybe today, we'll see. 46-ish in our area with some sunshine, moving up into the 60s tomorrow, mid to upper 60s, and then we'll see some showers moving in tomorrow evening. I saw somewhere in the 70s this weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's new on New Release Tuesday? We'll tell you about that. We're going to talk to the one and only Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show just after 8 a.m., see what he's up to. It's voting day. I know it's not a huge election. We're not voting for a new president. We're not voting for...
But it may impact something locally. Is that...
a new king. We're not voting for kings, right? No kings. But there are some local election. There is a state election, right? Supreme Court race, I believe. And we'll talk more about that here in just a bit. So make sure you do your civic duty. Get out there and cast your votes. Let your voice be heard. Generally in these spring elections...
Low turnout.
Very low turnout, somewhere around 20%. You try to get that up, though, man. Become involved. You like to bitch and moan and go have peaceful protests.
I had no idea it was an election day.
Comment on things on Facebook.
I was
that's fine.
Aware of that.
But if you really want to let your voice be heard, you make your voice heard at the voting station, at the polling place.
It's bad on me, but I didn't.
That's all right. It's all right. Bad news, happy music a bit later on. Get to our daily check-ins. You can, of course, find all of our contact info online at rockmornings.com. You can download the 2 apps and get in touch with us that way.
Sign up for the free stuff we're giving away by clicking win stuff right there on the bottom. You can send us a voicemail. Let us know what you're thinking this morning.
Got leftover ham, working on that. We had what?
Yeah, also, same. Leftovers last night. Mike's like, what's for dinner? I'm like, what do you think is for dinner?
What do you think is for dinner? For the rest of your life. Yeah. Reheated some ham and some cheesy potatoes.
Bunch, though. Yeah.
Ate the rest of the honey glazed carrots. Had a couple more of the rolls that were left over. Didn't eat any of the leftover cheesecake that's at my house.
I brought in some buffalo chicken dip for breakfast. Breakfast dip.
Just what I need. Just what my fat ass needs is some more buffalo
dip this morning. That's breakfast dip.
After my bagel that I had earlier with my cream cheese. Yeah. Yeah, leftover ham. Should be maybe tomorrow night we'll be done with the ham because we're also transitioning into ham sandwiches today for lunch. Got some lettuce and tomatoes and some really good grain mustard. So, yeah, going to be making some ham sammies for lunch today. So, yeah, hopefully by tomorrow night we'll be done with whatever.
Move on to a frozen pizza or something.
No, we'll see.
Change it up a little bit.
Just completely out of maybe a salad, just sort of balance things out. A lot of salt in the diet this week. Lots. Thankfully, we still actually have some really good mustards. We went to that mustard museum.
Middleton?
In Middleton, Wisconsin, a couple of years ago. And bought a whole bunch of really unique mustards.
It's a cool place, and it's right next to the brewery too. There's a brewery in that same little
couple of
neighborhood.
Things. Number one, there's the brewery, which is always great. Number two, it's free to attend.
The museum.
Yep, you can just go in. There's a store.
That's because they want you to buy mustards.
Well, yeah, there's a store upstairs. There's the museum downstairs. It's
small.
You could spend maybe an hour down there. Watching the little video, reading the little signs, checking out all the cool retro mustards. And then play the little games and infotainment system at the Mustard Museum in Middleton, Wisconsin. Then You go upstairs, and they got like a mustard person that'll you can like basically
sample until your heart's content.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of everything. So if you pick something off the shelf and you want to try it, they've got it open. They'll give you a little spoon of it. It's not just like, here's the mustards we have available. No,
it's a taste testing.
Yeah, well, no, it's everything in the store. So it's like, if you want to spend $20 on a mustard and you're a little apprehensive, they got an open jar of it and they'll serve it up to you. So yeah, we got a couple of those left from our visit to the mustard. And then there's cutting boards and T-shirts and socks and all sorts of mustardy stuff. But it was a good visit. We'll get to some crossfade in just a couple minutes.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Last week, we heard about the UW president
I'm not leaving.
Being told that you got to resign or we're going to fire you. And he claims that he is not going to do either of those. Wants to know what the sitch is. Apparently says they're not telling him why they want him to resign or they're fire him. And now they're going to vote. The Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents scheduled to vote later on today to consider firing the system's president, who refused their offer to quietly resign because he said no reason had been given for their surprise ouster. My guess is they've got something on this guy.
I think if he knew that he was super guilty of something and knew that what they might have on it, he wouldn't be fighting it this much.
Or maybe he doesn't think it's that serious, right? Like, okay, they may have this on me, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right.
Jay Rothman said in 2 letters that were sent to the regents that he would not resign from leading the UW system without an explanation of what he had done wrong. The Board of Regents president, Amy Bogust, said in a statement yesterday that Rothman was not without notice, nor was this process sudden. The board has engaged with President Rothman in good faith discussions over the past several months. They scheduled the termination vote for 5 p.m. today. The vote is scheduled 5 days after the Associated Press first reported that the board had asked Rothman to either resign or face being fired. He's been the president of UW since 2022. The lack of transparency is unacceptable, said Republican State Representative David Murphy, the chair of the Wisconsin Assembly's Colleges and Universities Committee. He said President Rothman deserves to know exactly why the board has lost confidence in his leadership. And yeah, I mean, you know, position of power, a lot going on there. And if they're not telling him why they're getting rid of him, you'd like to know why.
Right. Are you just cleaning house and deciding that you want a different vision or leadership and it has nothing to do with how comprehensive or, well, you know, how well he did his job? He says, you know, here's all these things. Described his record, included securing state budget increases system-wide and fundraising for buildings and facilities, increasing financial aid and mental health resources for students, expanding flexible options for Wisconsin high school students. That's true. They get priority in some financing as well, and those transferring credits. If the foregoing list is not sufficient evidence of my leadership, then you need to tell me what is. Basically, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he's saying, and he deserves to find out exactly why.
Sometime this afternoon, around 5 o'clock, the Board of Regents going to vote on that, and I'm sure we'll have more info tomorrow morning as to what's going down with the UW president. Artemis, Behind the Moon.
Ooh.
Watched that yesterday right around 5 o'clock.
I could watch the videos.
All the live coverage as the moon got smaller and smaller and smaller in different colors and all that stuff. And the president made a phone call.
Them describing it, right, with the mountains.
They had all the experts.
And his naming it after his wife who had passed. And, and the videos of little kids dressed as astronauts watching the takeoff. Well, I could watch those all day long. The little kids with their little astronauts.
Very similar to the end of Armageddon when they blow up the asteroid and all the kids are celebrating the NASA space program and everybody
loves.
They're
all dressed up and they're watching the video of this space.
Artemis 2, humanity's first journey to the moon since 1972, going behind the moon. Losing contact with Earth for 40 minutes.
Yes.
They had all the experts on yesterday. They got all the really good pictures and videos, and the president gave him a phone call.
Why do you want to be here? Why do you love space? Why do you love being a part of history?
We're going back to the moon, that's
why. Why do you love being a part of history?
The crew consisting of 3 Americans, the commander, Reed Wiseman, the mission specialist, Christina Koch, and the pilot, Victor Glover, and then a Canadian mission specialist, Jeremy Hansen. They're on their way back now. They've made their trip around the moon, and they're headed back to Earth, and it seemed like everything yesterday went well. There was no...
You always have your fingers crossed. It's space, man.
Unless something, some kind of alien body attached itself that they didn't know about while they were behind the moon, but...
Reestablished contact after a 40-minute blackout, the longest in human spaceflight history as they passed behind the moon.
During their lunar observations, the crew spotting unexpected colors on the moon's surface. Much of the terrain appeared to be brown, while distinct greenish tones showed up in isolated areas. The mission specialist said during the transmission, something I just heard from the window team is the more I look at the moon and the browner and browner it looks, I thought that was an interesting observation. Jeremy Hansen, the Canadian astronaut, noted the greenish hues. A large, relatively young crater on the moon is where he saw that. The crew added that this coloration was unique and not seen elsewhere on that side of the moon. So, I'm sure we're going to see all sorts of really awesome pictures and videos and the coming days.
Some of the images that they captured on what's never been seen before. By the way, a total solar eclipse from their perspective as they were behind the moon.
Yeah.
So crazy.
The president speaking with the crew yesterday saying, today you've made history and made all of America really proud, incredibly proud. President praising the 4 astronauts as brave and modern-day pioneers. America will be second to none in space and everything else that we're doing, and we will continue to lead the whole thing into the stars. But, 40 minutes of darkness back there, waiting to hear from them, making sure everything went okay. Didn't really have, a lot of concern necessarily, but, Yesterday we had the story about the kid in Pennsylvania who got through a fence at a zoo.
Oh, the wolf enclosure?
Stuck his hand into the wolf enclosure and got injured by the wolf. And now the parents of that toddler have been charged. Apparently they were on their phones, not paying attention. They weren't doing a very good job parenting. I know as a parent, you always say, all it takes is a second to turn around and your kid's gone.
Yeah.
But it sounds like these parents weren't doing a very good job anyways. They've been charged with child endangerment. The police department there said it is investigating the incident that occurred on Saturday. Police say an unsupervised 17-month-old child had squeezed through a small opening in a wooden barrier perimeter fence, and accessed a restricted area near the wolf exhibit. The child then reached the primary metal fence enclosure, injured after putting his hand through the metal fencing. From the injuries sustained, it appears as though one of the wolves in the enclosure instinctively and naturally grabbed onto the child's hand with its mouth. Several bystanders intervened and helped pull the child away. The parents, identified as Carrie Sorter and Stephen Wilson. By the way, she's 43 and he's 61. So I don't know, is this an adopted kid? And that's kind of old for a 17-month-old. Each charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Evidence showed that both the parents walked about 25 to 30 feet away from the child to a seating area with benches and appeared to be on their phones while the toddler was near the wolf exhibit. So, they sound a little bit responsible.
At the moment.
A little bit responsible.
Detached at the moment.
Meanwhile, voting happening in La Crosse and in Eau Claire for all sorts of different community benches and the school elections and stuff like that.
And Wisconsin.
You're right, I'm not voting for her.
Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Yeah, Justice of the Supreme Court, Chris Taylor and Maria Lazar. You've got some appeals judges in La Crosse County, a supervisor, because some of these are write-ins where you've got one person running. School board members, though, in La Crosse, there's several of those up for grabs. You can go to myvote.wi.gov and you can type in your address and you can see what you've got coming up on your ballot. But make sure you get out there and vote. Polling places, I believe, are already open. I think they open early, 6 o'clock. It's either 6 or 7. But myvote.wi.gov is where you can find info on who's on your ballots, where your polling place is, what you need if you got to check in, what time these things run. Yeah, I don't think it has any info about what kind of casseroles the ladies are bringing with them, but...
Yeah, and that's for volunteers in the back. Stay out of that area. That's for...
Unless they offer you some. No, plate. They give you a plate. Take
cookie,
that plate.
Maybe a cookie.
Lemon pound cake. Maybe they got some lemon pound cake. Sports in a bit right now, Crossfade.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Crossfade with colds on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. 46-ish today, so not too cold, but not too warm either. Somewhere in the 60s tomorrow. Got a text from Brad, who maybe should have used his autocorrect or previewed his...
Bring it. What do you got to say, Brad?
Maybe should have previewed his text before he hit the send button.
Come on.
I know he was excited to fire off a text.
Okay.
But maybe just calm down, take a breath, read it a second time, make sure everything's
I'm not going
right.
through all that. It's morning.
Dude,
What?
Instead of sending me 19 text messages correcting all the mistakes that you made, just make the one text.
Nah.
Just
I don't
review
got
it.
time for that, Brian.
All right, I'm going to kick you out of the studio and fire you if you don't agree with me on
Good
this.
luck.
I read up, his first text says, I read up on both ladies running for Justice of Supreme Court.
Okay.
They both claim they're not affiliated with a party, yet their component fast them for the political party that they belong to, so I vote when it seems like it's a lie, just my opinion. Not really sure what's going on there, Brad. Then he said there with a little asterisk correcting the version of
The
there that he
spelling,
used.
sure.
Then he sent
Yeah.
another text message that said Jesus autocorrect,
Yeah.
where I think he tried to correct all of his mistakes here. I read up on both ladies running for Justice of Supreme Court. They both claim they're not affiliated with a party, yet their opponent blasts them for the political party that they belong to. So why vote when it seems like it's a lie? Just to get your vote. Just my opinion. Look, dude, you don't want to vote, don't vote. That's fine. I'm just saying today is the day, and if you want to do your civic duty and you care about this stuff, you should go out and vote. And I feel like, personally...
Certainly not talking politics. MyVoteWI.gov if you're interested in finding out about your polls in your area about the things that matter to you. That's it.
Just
That's
feel
all we're
like
saying.
on a local level, you
Yes.
have a lot more chance to make a bigger impact on your daily life when it comes to things like this. School board members, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, all that stuff.
MyVoteWI.gov.
Brad, again, slow down, take a breath, review the
Brad,
text,
he doesn't have time
then
to slow
click
down.
send, and then don't listen to Jean because she makes no sense. She's just babbling on.
We got to get going. We don't
No.
get time.
No.
Spell check. Come on.
Just read the text
morning.
before you hit the send button.
It's fast.
Just read
Everything's
it.
fast. Let's go.
Brew Crew over the Red Sox last night, 8-6. Game 2 of that 3-game series is tonight at 5:45.
Ground ball right side. Will it get through? No. Friendly bounder. Duran will throw him out. And the Red Sox have lost again. And the game was full of fire for half of it. Ended with a bit of a whimper. And the Red Sox are 2-8. Which has an awful ring to it.
Yeah, it does, actually. Meanwhile, during the game, the first baseman for the Red Sox, Wilson Contreras, related to the catcher for the Brewers, obviously, had a warning for the Brew Crew after he was hit on the hand by a pitch from Brandon Woodruff. Now, technically he was hit by the pitch, but come on, man. If you watch the slow-mo replay of that hit by pitch video, it grazed him. It didn't even really ricochet off his hand. And he's got a thick padding on his glove, his batting glove. It's not like this guy took one to the face.
Okay, but they made a big deal out of it?
Well, and I get why, because this guy has a history with the Brewers and getting plunked by them, and Brandon Woodruff in particular. Contreras said, quote, "They always say I'm not trying to hit you. That gets old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's a message." Wilson Contreras, by the way, has been hit by a pitch 131 times in his major league career, including 24 times by the Brewers, which is 10 more than he's been plunked by any other team.
Oh, okay.
And he has a history with Woodruff, who has hit him 6 times out of those 24 times.
And Woodruff with his first one to a guy he has seen a lot in his career. Did he get him again? Yeah, he did. He hit him again.
6th.
For the 6th time, his brother comes out and walks him up the first base line. And again, there is history between the Red Sox, Contreras, and the Milwaukee Brewers that goes beyond all the hit batsmen.
Well, there's been a few of them that they've had altercations before when he's with St. Louis. Murph wants to know, but did Paul even hit him? Looked like it just barely got him on the hand. Contreras more reacting just up and in. And listen, a guy's hit you 6 times in your career. Eventually, you're tired of it.
Yeah, but you can't go out there and issue threats about taking one of them out afterwards. That's probably going to be a call from the league. Again, game 2 of that 3-game series tonight at 5:45. Of course, the big game last night was the UConn men, the Huskies, taking on the Michigan Wolverines.
Tell me about it.
No big surprise here. Michigan ended up winning. It wasn't the blowout that maybe people expected. It was rather close most of the game, but Michigan getting the win in the end.
And it's over! Hail to the champions! Hail to Michigan! For the first time in 37 years, the Wolverines win the national title.
I wouldn't say that was a slam dunk, though. I was watching on my phone, back and forth,
69-63, and the Wolverines guard, Elliot Cadeau, the guy who had the allergic reaction, ended up getting the most outstanding player award after he finished with 19 points in the game. The Wolverines winning their first national championship since 1989.
I thought the Huskies had the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. It seemed to be going in their favor. You know, every time I looked, it was like they seemed to
could have been an hour earlier. Should have been an hour earlier, just saying. We don't need 8 o'clock. We need 7 o'clock. Even that's a bit late for me, but I'll stand on 7.
They held on, but that was a back and forth game.
March Madness officially coming to an end last night with the men's national championship going to Michigan. Big Ten team winning for the first time in a while too.
That was why I was rooting for Michigan.
Bucks are at Brooklyn tonight at 6:30. Then they're at Detroit tomorrow night at 6 p.m. They're at home versus Brooklyn on Friday at 7 for their final home game of the regular season, and then their last regular season game, no playoffs obviously for the Bucks, will be on the road against Philly on Sunday at 5 p.m. So the Bucks 4 more games, wrapping up things this season, then we'll obviously find out what happens with Giannis in the offseason. Badgers,
as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Got the schedule wrong last week. I apologize. I was saying that it was last Thursday, but it's actually this Thursday when the Badgers take on North Dakota at 5 p.m. on ESPN2 in the NCAA Men's Frozen Four. Then you got Denver, Michigan at 7:30 on ESPN2. Winners will play on Saturday at 4:30. The Frozen Four on Wisconsin. Funeral portrait in a couple of minutes. We'll read the rest of your text messages. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Today is National Beer Day.
I thought it was every day.
Beer. Don't you like beer?
I love beer. Beer.
It's National Beer Day today.
Have another beer.
Beer's good.
Want a doggy bag for your beers?
What are you talking about?
That's a dumb idea.
I am not chugging beer.
Showtime, baby.
National Beer Day. Celebrate with a nice Shiraz.
Mm-hmm.
No. Enjoy a beer. Maybe not this moment, but
Beer Cave
later today.
After work.
Quick Trip. Freebies. Got it in an email. National Beer Day right there. Biggity bam. Valid 4/7 only. A free Bud Light or Budweiser 25 fluid ounce can. Or valid 4/7 only of free Miller Lite, Coors Light, or Coors Banquet 16 fluid ounce aluminum pint. Right there from KT.
President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the act on March 22nd, 1933, stating, I think this would be a good time for a beer. That's what he said.
So
there you go.
So there it is.
Celebrated by visiting breweries, maybe, tasting some various beer styles, enjoying a beer with friends.
National Beer Day. It's also International Beaver Day.
Thanks, I just had mine stuffed.
National No Housework Day.
Woo, woo.
Just give it a break. It'll be there tomorrow. I was going to wash some
windows this afternoon, so I'm not doing that. Is that what I'm doing?
You can pay people to do that, right?
I'm not paying people to do that. I can wash windows.
That's crazy. Also, Coffee Cake Day. But instead, we're getting Buffalo Chicken Dip Day.
Correct.
All right. So
correct. Leftover from Easter.
International Beaver Day, National Beer Day, National No Housework Day, and
That's
Coffee Cake Day. It's all right. It's not bad. The first season finale of Coast to Coast Tuesday on NBC tonight, with the Boston Celtics hosting the Charlotte Hornets at 7 o'clock. Then that's followed by the Phoenix Suns hosting the Houston Rockets at 10 p.m. For as bad as the Red Sox are, at least the Bruins and the Celtics are doing pretty damn well, and they're going to the playoffs. I didn't even watch last night. I knew it was going to be a bad game for me. 2-8.
Ugh.
It's a bad start.
What?
Basically the opposite of the Brewers right now, yeah. Also on TV tonight, the first season finale of Best Medicine on Fox. Second season finale of High Potential on ABC. Episode 4 of Daredevil, Born Again Season 2 is on Disney Plus today, and you've got a new stand-up special on Netflix called Shang Wong, Purple.
I'm feeling pretty good. I've been trying to eat more berries. I'm real passionate about those antioxidants. It's weird. I don't even know what oxidants are. I just know that I'm against them. It seems like whenever you eat something that's yummy, there's some oxidants trying to bring you down. Right? So after I eat like a steak and some martinis, I call on my berries. I send in the antioxidants. I'm like, hey man, go handle that. Make it look like an accident. Sometimes I eat the berries before the dinner. I lay a trap.
Shang Wong, Purple is the name of that comedy stand-up special on Netflix today. New episodes of Will Trent, NCIS Doc, NCIS Origins, RJ Decker, and NCIS Sydney tonight. Kimmel and Colbert are new. Kimmel's going to be talking to Oscar Isaac and Scott Speedman. Colbert has got Oprah and Brandi Carlile as his guests, and his run is coming to an end in the month of May, and they made it official.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, they finally announced who's going to take over for him.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is ending, and now we know exactly when.
Every day is a turbulent flight. Doing a late night show, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's a flaming toboggan ride to get the show done every day.
ET has learned the final flaming toboggan ride airs May 21st.
Yes, May 21st will be the final Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And then on the very next day, May 22nd, Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen will take over in that time slot. Byron, by the way, is actually paying CBS to get that time slot. He's also paying for the following hour as well to air his comedy game show called Funny You Should Ask. He says, I created and launched Comics Unleashed 20 years ago so my fellow comedians could have a platform to do what we all love, make people laugh. I truly appreciate CBS's confidence in me by picking up our 2-hour comedy block because the world can never have enough laughter.
That's true.
So May 22nd, we'll see something else after the end of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Mm-hmm.
April 22nd, a new documentary airing on Netflix. They just dropped the trailer yesterday. It's all about Hulk Hogan, brother.
Oh, really?
In wrestling, you should be remembered from all the wars you've been and everything you've done.
Look at this! I don't believe it!
Some people hate me, but after I'm gone, I think people don't know the truth. Who was this guy really? Oh, that's the hardest part, standing up. I really was here for a reason more than just wrestling.
The fans liked believing Hulk was Superman.
Is it art? Is it fakery? What is it?
Well, there she goes. 1, 2, kick out. Life was so clear. Where did that life go? The mistakes shown through.
Most of us think of Hulk Hogan as the king of the ring. But was there a sinister side to his success?
What Hogan preaches is apparently not what he practices.
I was running pretty hard partying. Maybe I was drunk. Maybe I was high. I don't know what to tell you.
It's kind of like a recipe for disaster.
There are millions of kids that have believed in me and what I stand for.
You're a liar.
The character was so strong. Terry got lost along the trip.
Hulk Hogan has torn down everything that he once built.
Really want me to tell the truth? Okay. You know, I know where all the bodies are buried.
Hulk Hogan, Real American, 4-part docuseries debuting on April 22nd on Netflix, featuring interviews with his former wife, Linda Hogan, legendary wrestling personalities like Bret the Hitman Hart, Jimmy Hart, Kevin Nash, and many others, talking about his career, talking about his real life, talking about his kids. Last appearance with the company came on the premiere of Raw on Netflix back in January of 2025, where he got booed unceremoniously by the fans in California.
So do you think there's a lot of his story that's left untold? Or it was kind of out there for the...
No, this is... They'll make, Look, if you're like me and you grew up with Hogan, he was your hero. But then as you became an adult and you realize there's a real person behind it in wrestling and, you get behind the curtain and all the stuff and you learn, oh, this guy's not really a good guy. Not just in the world of wrestling, but in real life. But then there's, then you also, you develop relationships with people and you realize that, not everybody's made up of the same stuff. And so you got to kind of come to terms with that.
I'm sure it's a must watch just because it's got, rare footage and, interviews with people that you've never seen before and maybe some insider information. But you kind of knew about the steroids and the sex tapes.
That
and
stuff, that stuff you knew about a long time ago. But I don't know if there's anything that's going to be in this documentary that's going to be all that groundbreaking when it comes to Hulk Hogan. Other than maybe, some of the personal family stuff, which, he may have kept hidden.
Do you think it has the potential to help?
No, I don't. I think that, look, again, if you're like me, you grew up loving him, and you can separate the two things. Mm-hmm. You can say I can appreciate what he did, and I can also say probably not a real good human being. Some people can't. Some people they hate him, and that's it, and they're going to hate him forever. Again, it's like if Donald Trump came up with a cure for cancer, people would still hate his guts.
But he's probably the most controversial wrestler, certainly. I mean, this documentary should do well,
He's
right?
the most famous wrestler of all time. Right. Whether you like it or not, whether you care or not, he was the most famous. And
then went on to have a bunch of controvery around
And without him and without Vince McMahon, wrestling would not be what it is today.
Sure.
And you can take that to the bank, whether you like it or not.
So,
today is also New Release Tuesday, speaking of things that are coming out.
Okay.
That movie Mercy is new on DVD. This is the one where the guy allegedly kills his wife and then he's got to prove it in like 90 minutes.
Okay.
Chris Pratt. It's AI, right? Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson, set in the near future, a detective is accused of murdering his wife and has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to an advanced AI judge.
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
Hold on, just wait a second.
With crime rates soaring, lawmakers voted for mercy. By acting as judge, jury, and executioner, Mercy keeps our city safe.
I shouldn't be here. I helped create the Mercy program. I'm proud to have sent the first suspect for trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today charged with the murder of your wife.
Mercy, new on DVD on New Release Tuesday.
25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it looks really bad. It looks really bad.
Pratt did
look.
Two
some of
thumbs
these you got to make money on, right? Not all of them are the good ones. Also rated R on DVD today for New Release Tuesday. A movie called In Cold Light. Ava attempting to go straight after prison, but her twin is murdered, and being a witness to the shooting, she is then forced to run for her life.
I went back in.
I know how hard it must have been for you inside. Now things are different.
If he searches us, I'm screwed. I can't go back. Tom, I can't go back.
I know.
The cops killed him to set me up.
If anyone finds out about this, well, I don't have to tell you what happens next.
They're not gonna stop.
What did you do?
Is there any chance you won't kill me?
In Cold Light, new on DVD for New Release Tuesday. That's what's coming out if you want to grab a DVD for dinner tonight.
We started an old series this past weekend, the 11/22/63. Do you know about that? So
yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's,
based on a Stephen King novel, eight episodes in which a time traveler goes back to stop the assassination of JFK.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting so far.
We wrapped up Night Court, and now we're starting Married with Children. We just started that the other night. The series, start to finish. And over the last couple of nights, we watched Scream 7. Sydney returns with her daughter. And It was okay. It's a Scream movie.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of killing. There's a couple of people in Ghostface costumes. And then you got Ice Nine Kills doing the theme song, Twisting the Knife.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
It's National Beer Day. Thanks to beer, guys in bar fights have bottles to smash in half and stab each other. Thanks to beer, your sad friend has something to self-brew in his basement. Thanks to beer, dorm rooms can display a pyramid of empty cans in the window. And finally, thanks to beer, Dad can quietly sip something in the garage while ignoring the rest of the family. Beer. Celebrate it today. Drink it all year round.
Oh, yeah! National Beer Day.
You don't brew anymore, do you?
I haven't in a while. I had a problem with a keg, and I just never really did anything about it. The seals, there's these rubber seals,
sure.
and they got to obviously work. And if they don't work, then the carbonation can escape. And it was a wormhole I didn't want to go down. And I enjoy the process of it, but if you mess up, then you got to dump, and that's kind of disappointing. And it's not so disappointing when you're like making 10, 15 beers every couple of weeks or whatever. But I mean, I was brewing 1 to 2 beers a year, so it's a hobby that I enjoy doing, but it's labor intensive, at least at the start. And again, if you have some issues with your kegging system, it can turn things sour real fast. So
you have all the stuff
I could brew a batch right now if I wanted to. Yeah, if I wanted to go home and do it. But National Beer Day,
April 7th. By the way, New Beer's Eve was last night. Obviously celebrating, but go to breweries, bars, taste some different things. Maybe International Beer Day is in August. And National American Beer Day is on October 27th, and National Drink Beer Day is later this year. So lots of days to celebrate. But
there's no shortage of days to enjoy a beer.
This one is...
and if you need a national holiday to enjoy a beer, then you're not doing it right.
But regardless, happy Tuesday.
Yeah. There's a bakery that was about to close in Detroit.
Okay.
You were just telling me about some muffins the other day. You said they were like the greatest muffins you'd ever had. And yet you didn't bring me any of these muffins.
No,
you brought me buffalo chicken dip.
Seriously, they were real, real good.
Well, this guy, a TikToker, went to this bakery. He does like food reviews. That's kind of his shtick. And apparently his one video saved the bakery, completely turned around their fortunes. And now they're good to go for a while.
Today we made 2,000 cupcakes, so I'm not trying to be out today. Blessed, happy, proud, humbled. It was tough. We were dealing with high inflation. We were dealing with all our prices going up on all our products. He got a 6-pack of cupcakes, and in his own words, he said, these might be the best cupcakes in Metro Detroit.
Love your product.
I love your product, man.
Chow Down Detroit is the name of the TikTok guy who went to Sweet 220 and decided to get a 6-pack of their cupcakes. It went viral. As you heard there, the owner talking about the price of everything going up and not a lot of people coming in. Well, now the shop has been selling over 2,000 cupcakes a day and has to hire extra help in order to keep up with the demand for the cupcakes.
Yep, these might be the best cupcakes in Metro Detroit, and bam, 4 weeks since that visit, the bakery sold out almost every day. They hired more help. 1,800 cupcakes last Saturday alone.
The owner of the place, Hassan Maki, launched the bakery with his wife back in 2008. Suddenly saw the turnaround and still feels surreal. There's pictures and videos of people waiting outside in line to get into this little place to get some cupcakes.
You love that.
After they opened up their current location in 2011, committing to make everything from scratch, they built a loyal customer base, but recent economic pressures obviously have taken a toll. Said, like every other small business, it was tough. Everything's gone up. Our profit margins completely just depleted. Then came Chow Down Detroit. Popular influencer picking up a 6-pack of the cupcakes. Glowing review online saying these might be the best cupcakes in Metro Detroit. And the hard part, I think, is for a lot of people, especially in a big city, these
How
places.
do you stand out?
Well, yeah.
How do you stand out?
These places, right, because they're living on the margins, they don't have a ton of advertising dollars. So they're not on the radio, they're not on TV, they're not in the newspaper, they're not on billboards, they're not in places where you typically find advertising. They can't buy targeted ads. They're not on the apps, right? They're not.
Well, it's a tiny little bakery, family owned.
And so you rely on those local customers, the loyal customers, to come in daily and get their cupcakes every week, right? They know about your place, spread the word of mouth, all that stuff, and that's fantastic. But it doesn't necessarily always keep the lights on when the cost of everything's going up. Because you can't just raise the price of your cupcakes to $30 because people are just going to go, I like your cupcakes, man, but
not that much.
I can't afford $30 cupcakes. And that's just me making, throwing out numbers. But yeah, now people who maybe didn't know about this place, didn't know where it was, didn't even know it existed.
Well, now they're showing up and showing support.
In the 4 weeks since the video went viral, Sweet 220 has sold out nearly every single day of cupcakes.
That's awesome.
Can't make enough cupcakes.
They're not taking pre-orders either, which I think is great.
It's like those barbecue joints down in the South where you got to get there at 4 a.m. and wait in line, and then once it's out, and they sell out every day. And yeah, pretty overwhelming for this business, now hiring extra help to keep up with the demands. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but the Eagles have eaglets.
I love this. They are everywhere, by the way.
The Big
Eagles,
Bear Lake Eagles, the two famous bald eagles there, Jackie and Shadow. They now have 2 healthy eaglets that have just arrived, both hatched within 48 hours of each other. The chicks are already getting their first feedings. You can watch them with the camera that they've installed. They try to hold their heads up, and they look like bobbleheads, obviously, moving around and all this. But Jackie and Shadow, in case you haven't seen it recently, just 2 healthy eaglets hatching recently.
Well, and this is a big deal because remember they had eggs that were attacked back in January.
Wasn't the one caring for a rock? He thought it was an egg, but it ended up being
he left. He was in charge of the nest, I believe, and he left for a little bit to go.
Well, I know that the eggs did get attacked, but I thought there was another eagle that was
back
also
in January
taking care of a rock at one point.
But this is the couple's second set of chicks or eggs, and these hatched successfully, and they have a couple babies.
Very cool. Some chili peppers in just a couple of minutes.
Oh, cute.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Ozempic. I lowered my A1C and lost weight while I was sleeping.
Ask your healthcare provider about the Ozempic Trizone.
Order now and get 30% off all plastic mattress covers and new sheet sets.
Side effects. Lots of them when you're taking GLP-1s. Possible side effects, I should say. Pooping the bed is one of them. But they're popular. People are doing them. I've got lots of people I know that are doing GLP-1s, whether it's Mounjaro or Ozempic or Wegovy.
Lots of friends.
Injectables. Now they got pills. Pretty soon they're just going to put it in the water.
No, they're not going to do that.
Just like fluoride, right, Gene? They're just going to put it in our water.
Not going to put it in the water.
Keep us skinny. Without our knowledge.
Not going to do that.
Or our consent. They're just going to put it in the water, Gene. Just like they do with the PFAS. We're going to get PFAS and Wegovy in the water.
That's terrible.
One of the interesting side effects that many people don't think about when it comes to losing weight with Wegovy and Mounjaro and Ozempic is that you might get a divorce. According to new research, people who undergo rapid weight loss are, quote, twice as likely to get a divorce. Well, yeah, I'm hot now.
Does that change any? I
don't want to be with this fat loser.
Anybody?
Yeah, duh. I mean, that's the same as if you lost weight at the gym and you got swole.
Yes.
The study focused on people who had been fitted with gastric bands, but the idea is that it could also extend to the rise in GLP-1s. According to a study of 12,500 married patients, more than 14% divorced within 6 years of losing a lot of weight compared to 8% among the wider population.
Shocking no one. They had to do a study to figure that out.
Right.
Haven't you had friends
Thanks,
who
Captain Obvious.
Gotten hot and then they're like, I'm out?
I'm in my 40s. I'm tired of being fat and disgusting. I've been with the same person for 10 years. Now I feel more attractive. More people are hitting on me. I have a lot more opportunity, and I'm tired of dealing.
Out.
Oh, and especially if the person that you're with doesn't go on your journey with you, right? Like if you look at it as us both getting healthy and losing weight and being better for each other, fine. But if it's a thing you're doing personally, then the outcome is I could also do better in my personal life.
And I don't even see it as a journey together. It's more like, because if you're super happy and they're just not about that, you're probably staying married. It's the unhappy, or like, you've been giving me a hard time about how I've looked for the last 7 years, and now I'm resentful about that.
Or I'm a completely different person because I've been depressed. And I mean, look, if you got
didn't work
problems with weight, it's not just the weight, right? There's all sorts of other issues.
This study is not. We could have done this without
several reasons. Experts listing several reasons why this could be happening. For one, people who commit to weight loss treatments like this, like GLP-1s, are clearly comfortable making big life changes. They probably become more social, trying to live a healthier life. If their partner isn't on that same trajectory, it could cause tension. Well, yeah. If you're just happy eating cupcakes on the couch and watching Netflix series, as opposed to trying to get healthier and lose some weight, then could be an issue in your relationship. Also, losing weight may make them feel more self-confident about moving on.
Well, duh.
Particularly if the relationship already isn't in a good or happy place.
This is the same thing that is, you could take Ozempic out of this and just say, if you lost, but yes.
Well, yeah. And again, this study wasn't just on Ozempic. They're just doing the extrapolation and saying, look, this was based on people who have had gastric bypass surgery and how it affected them. But another expert says it's not that losing a large amount of weight is ending healthy marriages. This is about people trying to improve their lives. Studies into the link between weight loss drugs and divorce rates would need to follow people for a much longer time, since those drugs are relatively new, and it'll be a few years before you get any real data on that. But yeah, like you said, it's
a healthy, happy marriage is going to be okay if somebody decides to lose a little weight. If there's problems that were underlying in the first place.
Yeah. I think it's...
duh.
Yeah, probably a lot better if you go on that journey together, though, right? Not necessarily that both people need to lose weight, but if you want to both be healthier, and it's a thing you do together, then it probably has a chance to strengthen the relationship as opposed to tearing it apart. How fast do you lose weight on those things anyways?
Pretty quick.
And they just make you feel full?
Why are you looking at me like I have all the answers?
I have no idea, because I don't.
Yes, I believe that. Yes.
I went in for a physical, and the guy, was like, "How you do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm fat and I'm turning 50, and You
could fill out a form that right now. We could do this during the show, and you could be on GLP-1s by Thursday.
And he said immediately, the first thing he said was, "We'll get you on a G." And I said, "No, dude,
We could do it right now."
I said, "I'm lazy and I like to eat."
By the end of the week,
I said, "I'm lazy and I like to eat and drink." So I said,
"No lie.
I just haven't done any work." But if I want to commit to myself, you know what I mean? Then I could lose the weight on my own. I don't need that. So, but what does it do? Like how?
All sorts of stuff. Slows down your metabolism, makes you feel full. You can't eat
full,
as
like
much.
Uncomfortable, like when you eat a big meal.
You eat less, and then you are full. It's just there's all sorts of different, and it depends.
Because the gastric is like a physical change to your stomach, right? It makes it smaller, so you can't fit.
Correct.
Right. And I get that. I'm just, but like, so this, it just makes
blood
you feel
sugar,
full.
all sorts of different things that it affects. But yeah, we could fill it out right now, and you could be on it by Friday if you want. That's how quick.
And how much do you lose?
It depends. You fill out how much you want to lose, and that will affect.
Do they give you like a higher dosage if you want to lose more?
You can microdose, you can full dose. There's many ways to go about this.
Yeah, no.
Pill.
I'm good.
Injection.
This guy Rizzy worked for my psoriasis, and I'm happy with that. I don't need any more DNA genetic shifting drugs in my body.
Right now. We'll see.
I'm good. I just need to get off the couch and go for a walk every once in a while. That's what I need to do. Stop eating so much. Stop letting my morning show partner bring in my
sorry about the buffalo
breakfast snacks every single day with the snacks. Like I'm not already eating a ton of food.
Microwave it right now.
Yeah, thanks.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Red Hot Chili Peppers on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Brew Crew over the Red Sox last night, 8-6. Game 2 of that 3-game series is tonight at 5:45. Men's National Championship game last night. Michigan over UConn, 69-63. Wolverines winning their first national championship since 1989.
Yeah, Big Ten. It was a good back and forth game. Well, at first I thought they might lose, but I'm glad that Michigan pulled it out in the end.
Bucks are in Brooklyn tonight at 6:30. 4 games left in the regular season. Only one of them, by the way, is a home game, and that's the one on Friday against Brooklyn. And then their final game of the regular season will be on Sunday in Philly. 4 games left for the Bucks. Badger men's hockey team taking on North Dakota on Thursday on ESPN2 in the NCAA Men's Frozen Four. The other game is Denver and Michigan at 7:30 on ESPN2 on Thursday, and then the winners will play in the championship game on Saturday at 4:30. John Blackwell entering the transfer portal while going through the NBA draft process. Blackwell earning third-team All-Big Ten honors. Becomes the best guard to announce his portal intentions. He said, "It's a tough decision. I'm looking for a place where I can enhance my skills for the NBA and a place where I can compete for a national championship, a place where that's the standard and what we're striving for." Which obviously is, I think, intended to say that Wisconsin isn't really striving for that. We'll find out from Grant Bills his reaction to that. I don't think it's all that shocking that Blackwell would enter the transfer portal. Also, the Chicago Sky trading 2-time WNBA All-Star Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream.
Is that weird?
No.
Okay.
In exchange for a couple of first-round draft picks, 2027 and 2028. The Dream will also get a 2028 second-round swap with the Chicago Sky. She said, "I'm beyond grateful for the opportunity to join the Atlanta Dream organization. I'm focused on continuing to grow my game, competing at the highest level, connecting with the fans, giving everything I've got to the Dream, yada, yada, yada." If she was a better basketball player, she wouldn't have been traded, but she struggles at times with layups and rebounds. And
I thought that was odd.
Dallas Stars said yesterday they have identified and indefinitely banned the fan who bought the tickets in connection with that investigation.
Is this the
in what
salute?
appeared to be a Nazi salute at a game back in December? The fan was banned after the American Airlines Center launched their investigation into the 4 Dallas Stars fans who appeared to repeatedly raise and extend their right arms with straightened right hands facing downward. The Nazi salute there. They say, "We identified and spoke with the individual that purchased the tickets and will be banning that individual indefinitely from the American Airlines Center. Additionally, we are increasing in-arena messaging regarding the fan code of conduct, yada, yada, yada."
You don't have to tell people not to do that.
Well, look, I don't think any amount of signs is going to change people from doing it.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to tell people that they're not supposed to do that.
There's an assumption that you shouldn't do that, and some people didn't get the assumption and decided to do it anyways. And I don't think you could say it over and over and over again throughout the entire game, and some idiot's going to do it.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
That person just doesn't need to.
Not sure if, and they didn't say whether or not the fan who bought the tickets was one of the guys in the photo. They just said it was the fan who purchased the tickets. So may have bought the tickets for his buddies or something like that.
Well, and you said you thought it was in a box or a suite or something like that.
If you look at the picture, it doesn't look like it's in the main bowl of the arena where you're like surrounded by other people.
Yeah,
it looked like they were separate and there was walls around them, so it did look like it was in some sort of suite or different area of the arena. So, Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got some Turnstile on the way. Boy, that band's going through it, huh?
Oh my gosh, what a crazy story.
The former guitarist and running over the guy's dad and all that stuff. Crazy. We'll hear from them in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Turnstile, look out for me as I drive over your dad in the driveway of his home.
Yeah, so.
Crazy story about Turnstile and their former guitarist and being charged with attempted manslaughter now. And yeah.
So he wasn't in the band because he'd been acting
kind of nuts,
crazy for a long time, and
they said, "Look, dude, you got to get out." And so they kicked him out in 2022, and here we are 4 years later, and this guy, the former guitarist for Turnstile, runs over the current lead singer's father in his driveway. I think they're neighbors too.
He sat outside the household and was apparently honking his horn and shouting obscenities,
trying to get the guy to come out.
At the sister, her husband, and their children first.
Man.
And then the dad
comes out and confronts the guy and then gets run over.
Apparently threw a rock at his car, like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then he turned his car around and accelerated towards him and then ran him over, basically.
Crazy story.
Within, like, striking distance of the 3-year-old grandson, too, by the way. The little toddler was right there.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. I got a whole bunch of text messages this morning. Got one from Marnie. You were talking about the new series that you began. 11/22/63.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. It's from 2016. It's an older series. It's newer on Netflix, but it's based on a Stephen King novel series, and so I thought that was really interesting. I'm into Stephen King, and the time travel back to stop the assassination of Kennedy. Yeah.
Marnie says 11/22/63 is an amazing book. Highly recommend the audiobook.
They made a book out of that?
They did, apparently. They made a book out of that. Thank you, Marnie. Got a text from, not sure who this is. They said, according to the show, Hogan Knows Best, Hulk Hogan's biggest fan lives in Holman, Wisconsin currently. We knew that guy a couple years ago, actually several years ago. Remember, he used to live in La Crosse. He was the big guy, and he had the belt, and he came in, and we talked to him about being Hogan's, and he was going to be on the show, Hogan Knows Best. Yeah. And I've lost touch with the guy since, but this person also said, I watched Mercy, and if you like the AI thing, it's kind of interesting. I don't like the AI thing, and that movie looks like straight trash.
It's out today, though. It's a new release, and I'm glad you watched it. But like I said, whatever it's worth, Rotten Tomatoes has it with 25%, which is real low.
It doesn't look
real low.
So they strap him to a chair, and then he's got to use all the footage to try and prove himself innocent?
I have no idea.
Thanks again to Brad, who attempted to send a text message about the two women running for the Justice of Supreme Court. He said, what's your opinion on that, though? Why is it all about lying about your opponent? I said, dude, it's politics. It's been that way forever, and it ain't going to change.
Yeah, well, it's voting day today. If you're interested in finding out what's on the ballot besides the Supreme Court nominees, you can find out by going to wisconsinvote.gov.
Brad, that's politics, dude. It's never going to change. In fact, it's probably only going to get worse. Got a text from, I'm not sure who this is. They said, if you want more info, you can call my wife at Amplify. She is an expert with these GLP-1 medications.
See, I told you.
Gave me her name and her number.
I bet there's a lot of people on
this guy
them
wants me
right
to call
now
his wife.
That could.
I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I was.
No, I'm saying if there's people on them right now that could call and answer some of your questions.
I have
that are
very close personal friends that are taking them. Brenda texted in, said it does curb your appetite.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, alcohol starts tasting bad. You can lose a lot of weight without working out. She said that she was doing Wegovy, but not anymore. Jason said, hello, morning crew. Wife and I both on Zep shot, and it works. I was like 490 almost a year ago. Now I'm 394. So in a year, he's lost 100 pounds. The shot definitely has helped both of us, and I feel a ton better and definitely can tell the difference.
Whoa, good for you.
Jason, thanks for the text. And yeah, I can't imagine how much better you'd feel losing 100 pounds when you're almost $5 bills. I mean, you must be able to breathe easier, go upstairs a lot easier. I mean, get in and out of bed, all this stuff.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm glad it's working for you. I don't know. It's
an unknown, but thanks for your feedback on how it's...
Like I said, I feel like it's too new for me.
Producing for you.
I still have... Look, I have hesitations about taking Skyrizi, and that bleep works.
I know.
I've had psoriasis, or had psoriasis. I still do, but... So I had psoriasis forever, and I had it all over my body. I had it on my arms, my knees, my stomach, my back, my skull, my scalp, like in my ears. I had it everywhere. My feet were probably the worst. Because I want to go out in the summertime without, socks on and wear sandals, but I got scaly, nasty looking feet. And then I took the shots after look, here's the other thing too, right? So with psoriasis and having it for 25 years, whatever I've had it, I did oatmeal baths. I did UV light, treatments. I did all that. I had the
creams
the
and
creams
potions and lotions.
I had it all.
Tinctures.
I had it all. When we got married 13 some odd years ago, I took a shot in the ass of steroids because I had it on my face. And I was like, hey, look, doc, Normally I wouldn't ask for this. I'm not med seeking here. But I've got a bunch of photos I need to take.
Married and
some
my
professional pictures, and I'd like to not have psoriasis on my face.
Well, it worked.
So then I did, a couple of years ago, I tried that new light treatment, which is, more of a UV. You're like in almost like a tanning booth. And and I was going there twice a week, and I was doing it, and I saw some results in the first 4 months of doing it, but then it just kind of plateaued and stopped working. And so I finally acquiesced, and I said to the doctor, all right, let's do this stupid shot. And at $21,000 a pop.
Intivo, I think it's also called. There's a couple brands.
It's all made by the same people, but they got generic versions and all that. But anyways, it worked.
So
it was crazy. It worked. It absolutely worked. So look, do I think the GLP-1s work? Yes. I just don't know if I want. How many cocktails am I putting in my body, right?
Well, thanks for your feedback. If you've got more about that and it's something that, you're familiar with, certainly let us know. You can get in touch with us through the apps.
Wendy said Zepbound is a game changer. Best thing I've ever done.
92.9 The X and 95.7 The Rock. Those are the apps to download and get in touch with us.
Jim said, I've gained 10 pounds since leaving the military. Well, yeah, you're not on a regiment like you were in the military where you eat when they tell you to eat and you eat what they give you to eat. And, you run a bunch of miles and,
Jim,
I'm surprised it's only 10 pounds.
Relax with retirement, okay? You're all right,
He's
Jim.
not, though. He's going to school. He's trying to become a state trooper down there. Yeah, download the apps and get in touch with us. Leave us voicemails.
Can you play Dark Side of the Moon by Ozzy?
Oof.
I get it.
Little Artemis 2 there.
He's doing, the astronaut thing.
Thank you, Gene. Appreciate all the text messages. Good to hear from you guys. We're going to hear from Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show in just a bit. There's a guy who doesn't need a GLP-1.
He sure does not.
It's like this microphone stand right here, this camera stand, that's about...
He's playing his guitar. He can hide behind it sometimes.
Yeah, that's about the size of Grant Bills. Skinny little guy. Right now, it's 3 Days Grace.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15-ish on Tuesdays. We're joined by the host of the Wisco Sports Show, the one and only Grant Bills. You can hear his program weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on stations all across Wisconsin, including Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire and WKTY in La Crosse. Grant Bills, how are you, sir?
I am excellent. Happy Easter. A couple days late. It's a beautiful day. A little chilly, but the sun is out. It's a beautiful day. Always a pleasure to talk to you both.
Sun helps.
Getting into the 60s, I believe, tomorrow, maybe even into the 70s this weekend, so not too shabby.
Not bad at all. Maybe a little rain tomorrow, 60 or 70, somewhere in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, let's get started right away with the national championship, which was, of course, the Michigan Wolverines, a Big Ten team, finally winning in the national championship game, beating the UConn Huskies last night. Was it closer than you expected it to be?
Yeah, actually, because I think Michigan was significantly better. And I don't know where the final line was. I thought it was like 6.5, 7.5 yesterday. And it finished around there. So I guess it finished about where Vegas expected. I just thought Michigan is the significantly better team. I thought UConn did about as well as they could have. That's a credit to Dan Hurley. I thought the Big Ten already had a highly successful tournament in the Final Four in the Sweet 16 without needing to win the national title. They had 6 teams in the Sweet 16. They had 2 teams in the Final Four. 1 team in the national title. Even if Michigan had lost last night, I think the tournament is an overwhelming win for the Big Ten. And we're learning that in the era of NIL, the Big Ten is the richer and should continue to be the more successful conference. I was pulling for UConn, though, even though a Big Ten guy. It was important for the conference to get one eventually here. Michigan bought their entire starting 5. They just went out in the offseason and paid 5 new starters. And that just is kind of lame to me. It's one thing to add a guy to play the shooting guard and then add a guy to the bench. But you should have some basis of your guys in your pro. You shouldn't just go buy 5 new starters.
And
That's stupid.
It's kind of funny, too, because they trotted out the Fab Five during the tournament right before the Final Four. Like, it was this cool nostalgia thing. And then you sort of try to reconcile that with, like, here's the guys that we really associate with Michigan basketball. And then you've got a bunch of strangers and pay for play guys over here. So it's which one do you want?
Yeah. And I talked about this on my show last night a bunch because John Blackwell announced that he's transferring and people are upset. In today's day of this is true about college basketball and college football. Players are going to move and they're going to make money. So we cannot like that, But we need to understand that when teams are built a certain way or when players move around, they're making money, they're moving. So we have to accept that even if we don't like it. John Blackwell was here for 3 years. That's a damn good career. Having a guy for 3 years is like, that's the new 5. 2 years is the new 4 for me, because Wisconsin, they don't have the money that Michigan does, or Illinois does, or Duke does. So if they can recruit John Blackwell and get 3 great years, and then he gets paid for a year at the end somewhere else, I actually think that's a great career. That's a great job by Wisconsin in this day and age. Michigan shows you, and we're going to see this from lots of Big Ten schools. Indiana, we're going to see this in football. Big Ten schools just have more money. They have richer alums who care more. They have people working in tech, people who are CEOs, people who work in finance. The SEC is like the local car dealer can't just give $10,000 to recruit under the table anymore. Like, it's
when you've got
different.
Portnoy going there and dropping millions of dollars, and they're building gyms and bringing in players and whatever they're doing with his money, and he's a drop in the ocean when it comes to sponsor dollars or whatever. Yeah, it speaks volumes about what they can afford to do.
The center is from UCLA, that Adley or Adai guy. He's a total house. He was a freshman at UCLA last year. They get him. They got Yaxel Landenborg, was the #1 transfer in the portal. They paid him. They pay 3 other guys. It's just like, all right, I understand that that's how college sports work now. I'm not sitting here pining for 2014. I understand. But that seems like a bit much, even in this era. You pay 5 new starters to come in.
We'll see what happens with the new executive order that Trump signed late last week, talking about limiting the amount of transfers that you can make in your college career. Plus, you're limiting them to 5 years of eligibility. So I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make in terms of being able to bring in players every single year. Probably not much, but it may help keep some players on teams longer than a year at a time.
It might. I just don't think the NCAA has much of an The NCAA has been useless as a governing body long before college sports ever started paying guys and allowing them to move around. You know what I mean? Like, the NCAA was worthless, again, as a governing body, as an entity that polices the sport. They've never done that, and the sport has gotten significantly more difficult and complicated to police. So, yeah, I know Trump, I think most people would agree, like, you should limit the transfers, there should be more of a structure, but the NCAA is sitting back, it's like, okay, well, as soon as we do that, then the players are going to have to operate under guidelines, which means they're going to be employees, which means the antitrust thing. It's just, the NCAA has very little reason to care about any of this. They're not even the ones paying the kids. Boosters and alumni are doing that, so I wouldn't expect anything to change too much too soon.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on the phone with Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, weekday afternoons from 4 until 6. Grant, let's talk about the hot start for the Brewers. They obviously beat my Red Sox last night. A little dust up there with Contreras and Woodruff, and Brewers are just incredible at making comebacks and scoring a bunch of runs each and every single game. What do you see going forward? Do we have any issues that are sticking out that you see with the Brewers right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things. They've been able to win, by and large, playing the same way they've played last year. They put the ball in play. They're always, I mean, you saw last night, Simpson. Like, they had 2 or 3 runners on in a bunch of innings, before they ever scored. They're just always knocking at the door, being annoying, and eventually, that's going to break through, even if it's with bunting and infield hits, and they don't need to hit home runs to win games, although they do a little bit of that too, because it's 2026 and you need to do a little bit of that. So I think they're winning this year the same way we saw them win last year. My concerns is the lineup's a little thin without Vaughn and Churio. And Garrett Mitchell's had some really timely hits, so that's helped. Sal Frelick has gotten off to a slow start. Hopefully he gets it going. That will help. But until Churio and Vaughn get back, they're 2 power righties, the lineup's going to drop off a little bit in the second half. They should be able to work around that okay. They have so far. The other concern that'll make the offense even more difficult and the lineup even more worrisome is their bullpen's a little shallow. Koenig went to the IL. That could be a significant injury. He's worked just about as many innings as anybody the last couple of years, right alongside Uribe and McGill, whose velocity is down a little bit. Their stuff's down a little bit. The results have been okay. I worry about their 3 or 4 top relievers because they've pitched a lot of innings and their stuff is down. The velocity's down a little bit. That worries me. So the offense and the bullpen are concerns. everything else looks just like last year, which is a great sign.
Well, thankfully, they're playing a bunch of hot garbage right now and should sweep my stupid-ass Red Sox. And hopefully this is the death knell for Craig Breslow. Get his dumbass out. I don't think John Henry's going to sell the team, even though it's just a part of a portfolio at this point for him. It's no longer a passion project, but I could go on for days about my dumbass Red Sox and how much they suck.
Could I give you just a touch of advice? I know how sports fandom works. We want to stand up for our guys. Don't waste your breath on Wilson Contreras. That's the worst guy in baseball.
Trust me, I'm not. That hit by pitch was, he basically blew on him with a little bit of a fart wind there. It wasn't like he actually hit him. And I don't really, look, unless you've been on the team for 5, 6, 7 years and you're a Poppy or you're a Petey or you're one of these guys, a Mike Lowell or a Greenwell, give me one of those guys. This guy, he's just another dude that's on the team right now. I don't care about him.
He's the worst guy in baseball.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him. You talk to people around the Cubs.
Jerks and Profar may be worse.
The worst guy in baseball?
Oh, okay, put it this way. As a player, there is no one more unliked. I don't know about off the field. There's people who, do lots of bad things off the field. On the field, there is no one worse in baseball. Nobody on the Cubs likes him. He won a World Series there. None of his teammates like him to this day. Most of the guys in that clubhouse didn't like him. I was covering a Brewer game, this was a couple of years ago, and there was an incident with Contreras. We were just in the clubhouse, and the things that some of the players were just proclaiming with the assembled media hanging around.
Yeah, not afraid to say these things.
There. Yeah. Nobody likes him. Don't waste your time.
Trust me, I'm not standing up for. I'm just mentioning that because it was a situation in the game last night, and it may lead to something else. So, speaking of the Brewers, I wanted to bring this up. Gina and I talked about it on Monday. She was unaware of the turtle situation. This became another thing on Friday when the game got postponed. I said this to you last year. It was cute with the pancakes. They turned it into a little concession item. It was
the
fun.
Beginning of the hot run, too.
Right. The run started into the playoffs. They finished the season really well, yada, yada, yada. Then they tried to shoehorn in another food item, which I thought was a bit of a push.
Quesadilla. It was a quesadilla.
A quesadilla, and it's like, okay, now we're doing a shtick, right? We're like a World Wrestling Federation situation here. Now he's doing it with a turtle. Is this, can we stop? Can we grow up and stop this?
I'm with you on the bits mostly. It's kind of funny. I don't need it, but I don't think it's for. I know it's not for people like you. It's not really for people like me. It's on Apple TV. You have, in theory, an audience that wouldn't normally be watching a baseball game because they opened their streaming app and thought, oh, there's a baseball game on. I'll watch it, and that's how the game has grown. Now, I don't think that's how it happens, but I think that's what baseball and Apple TV are, I think that's what they think. And then, there's a human interest story. There's a pancake in this guy's pocket. There's a turtle in the clubhouse, right? These types of things. I feel like they're not going to keep a turtle all year. It's kind of you need the lamps and you need lots of veggies and you need an enclosure. They're not going to keep that thing. They'll give it to some local reptile person, or at least I hope. Send it to live at the Milwaukee Domes. You ever been to the Domes?
Yes,
put it in the jungle domes there.
Yes.
And I thought you could actually, with all these renovations they're going to do to Miller Park, you could build a little cool terrarium enclosure up there by maybe the broadcast booth, and people walk by and could take pictures with the turtle.
Rally turtle.
Yeah.
It's just so forced to me. And Pat Murphy's a likable enough guy. And if you get caught on camera on the bench having a glizzy and it turns into a thing, it's all sort of, organic. Okay, fine. But this whole need to pull thing, it's just, come on, bro. And you knew, sending a guy out to buy one and all this, it's just, come on, dude. This is just lame. It's not what I'm here for.
Imagine you're a young man, Simpson, who wants to work in sports. I want to work in professional sports. One day, I want to work in the front office of a baseball team, and I want to go around the country and scout players. So I got this quality control job with the Brewers. I can't wait to start. We're 2 weeks into the season. The manager calls me, and he's got a task.
Right.
He's got an assignment for me. This is how I'll stand out from the crowd. And he said, hey, here's $500 cash. I want you to go to the PetSmart around the corner, and I want you to bring us back a turtle.
Also,
who do they send to the pet store?
Do you think Pat Murphy's doing this if they're having the same record as my Red Sox and they're 2-8?
Probably not. That's probably a good point.
It's fun when you're winning and everything's cool and it looks like you're hitting all the right buttons, but dude,
and now you can buy a shirt. You can buy a turtle shirt. They have them for sale. Oh, sure, Pat's pocket turtle.
I bet Mark Ignacio and Rick Schlesinger, they're president of business ops. They were in the pro shop last night clearing out rack space for the new T-shirts.
Get rid of the uke stuff and put in the turtle stuff.
It's a new turtle.
They're still doing Hank the dog stuff.
I know.
And that was like 15 years ago.
Not to mention it was like 3 Hanks ago.
Yeah, correct. Also correct. Thank you. Yes.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show. We just got a text from someone actually wants me to ask you a question. What do you think about the dumbass twins? F the Polads.
Oh, geez. That's an angry person.
That's their text verbatim, by the way.
I had a friend who went to their home opener on I think it was their home opener on Friday, and the power went out. In like the whole, not just the stadium, it was like the whole like area of downtown Minneapolis or whatever.
That's not shocking.
The Twins this year, I think on opening day, and it might be like a recurring thing, we're going to offer $2 beers.
Yeah, it's a recurring thing, but it's only to like season ticket holders, and it's only in one little tiny section of the ballpark, so it's not open to the general public, I believe. I think you have to be a season ticket holder.
And, of course, when the power goes down, he said, well, we'll just buy beers. Oh, no, because you can't use cash anywhere
cashless,
anymore in 2026. The Polads, it's so sad because they wanted a new stadium, and I think Target Field is pretty cool. And they got the money for the new stadium, and they said, all right, if we get it's Tills all this time. If we get the stadium, we'll invest in the team. And then they got the stadium, and they maybe signed like one player. Like, they just don't care. They're cheap, and just when it seems like they're close, they tear it back down again. Like, being a Twins fan would suck. I'd go to more St. Paul Saints games. That's what I did last summer. That's what I would do.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show. I hope you have a great weekend. Big plans for this coming weekend?
Well, he just said he bought a golf bag off of Marketplace. Is that what you said?
I did. My old golf bag was falling apart, so I found one on Facebook Marketplace. I switched over all the clubs last night, got it organized. It was very exciting while I listened to the Brewer game. So, I don't know, maybe some time at the driving range. I got my bike out of storage, maybe go for a bike round. Not on any major streets, Simpson. I'm a bicyclist. I don't expect to have my way on a major street. I stick to the side roads and the trails where I belong.
I love you so much right now. I want to kiss you on the lips because I can't stand special lanes for special little bicycle people that don't need them. You want to share the road? Let's share the road, mofo.
You want to come up and play some golf? Do you want to come play some or go fishing? I know that it's right around the corner, fishing season.
Do you guys want to play around of golf?
I'd love to hit a couple of balls.
I know Brian would.
What kind of drink are we getting after the game is over? After we get done hitting the links?
I'll get a beer. I know you think for some reason that I only drink ice cream drinks. I'll get a can of beer.
You want some whipped cream and a cherry on top of that mudslide of yours?
A can of beer is as good as he's going to have.
National Beer Day. Check your phone for lots of text messages about free beers at Quick Trip and Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just got my text from Festival Foods. They said two free Coors Banquet bottles, 12 ounce. Cheers to National Beer Day. Valid 4/7. Limit one offer only.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't heard a thing from Phil Woodman today, so I guess I'll expect that email or that phone call or something.
All right.
Thank you for letting me know. I'll have to have a beer after work. Not an ice cream drink.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show. Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
No, the pleasure is mine. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right. There he is, Grant Bills.
I guess I maybe would have tried to choke it down.
Yeah. It's surprising how much we agree on some things.
I know. I think you guys should hang out more. Maybe do some golf. Maybe some fly fishing. Have you ever done
I've never,
fly
not
fishing?
Once in my life have I ever
He's
fly fished.
He's a big fly fisherman.
I wouldn't even know how to do it.
He would show you.
I'd be like Pauly Shore and Son-in-Law. The pole would end up in the river.
You need some waders and a big
Turn your
pole.
wrist like this, and then bloop, there goes the pole.
He'd help you. He'd show you the ropes.
I wouldn't let go of the fishing pole.
Yeah, I know you.
I know you whip it like this and you do this thing.
Yes, fly fishing.
Yeah. I'm a night crawler and a hook with a bobber guy. That's how I fish. I don't need anything more. I'm happy with that.
Head out.
I don't care if I catch anything or I just,
Big waders.
Big waders.
I just want to know who the starting shortstop.
Bad news, happy music coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some #Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Got a couple of Florida man stories right off the bat. The
Perfect.
first one is about a guy named Jalen Minzy.
What Jalen do?
He was arrested after he allegedly robbed a McDonald's last Sunday. Police say that Jalen went into the Mickey D's, put in an order, and then when he got his food, he wanted to get some free cookies. When he didn't get the free cookies...
Like this order comes with cookies?
He pushed the workers out of the way, went behind the counter, threw things at them, and took off with 2 other meals. Not quite sure if he got any cookies. Jalen was later tracked down at a nearby apartment complex, arrested, charged with battery and robbery. Unclear if the local jail has cookies either.
I'm loving it.
But yeah, this guy robbing a Mickey D's.
Like an adult Happy Meal?
Because he wanted some free cookies.
Now, what starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C.
No, we don't need to do that.
It's like a meal deal.
Well, I know that some of the Happy Meals come with cookies, right? And apple slices or whatever.
Sure. So he's, in his mind, I bought the Big Mac, the fries, the Coke. I want the cookies.
Yeah. Remember the suitcases with the decomposing bodies last week?
Yeah, I sure do. Where the crows and the hogs, vultures were eating.
Did you happen to find out what happened there?
He killed him, didn't he?
This is a Dexter move. What do you know about Dexter, the TV show?
That he's a serial killer.
But he kills criminals.
That's what this was?
This is a teenager in Florida who told his girlfriend, quote, I killed somebody and cut him up after he attacked a man in his neighborhood with a baseball bat, then dismembered him, collecting the victim's blood to keep on microscope slides. The kid's name is Lucas Jones. He's 19. He claimed in a conversation with his girlfriend that he wanted to murder a man named Collie Daniel because he was a registered sex offender who was living in his neighborhood. Online records show that Daniel was, in fact, a sex offender who was convicted in 2018 of lewd or lascivious battery with a victim 12 to 15 years of age. His girlfriend said, quote, he wanted to kill him. He had printed lists of nearby sex offenders. Daniel did reside nearby and was likely on this list of registered sex offenders Jones had printed. Jones then told his girlfriend that he murdered Daniel with a baseball bat and cut up his body with a cleaver, a saw, and a knife, placed his remains in 2 separate suitcases and 2 large Rubbermaid totes.
Holy schmolies.
A portion of this guy's dismembered remains found in an area known as the Compound in Palm Bay when vultures were spotted swarming around. Yeah. This kid's now been arrested, obviously. They used the Find My Phone app and a bunch of other stuff. You can read more about it. But
yeah,
we had that story last week. Didn't quite know any of the details, just that they had found a bunch of dismembered body parts in a couple of suitcases.
In some bags and suitcases that the vultures
and
were
now
eating.
come to find out, this guy was pulling a Dexter. Trying to go on a killing spree and kill a bunch of registered sex offenders.
Yeah. Apparently, blood on the floor, the tile grout, blood stains on her boyfriend's jeans.
Yeah, gonna have to
killed somebody and cut him
have to
up.
hone in his skills if he's gonna get away with these crimes.
Oof.
This is, man, when you're in prison and you don't have a lot of options, you take that plastic toothbrush and you shave it down real pointy, and that's what you stab and kill people with a lot of times.
It's shiv. He shivved him. He shivved him.
This is a woman on a beach with an actual toothbrush. She stabbed a guy in the head with a toothbrush. She's like John Wick. 31-year-old woman arrested after allegedly stabbing a man in the back of the head. You know where there's a lot of skull and bone and fragments and stuff?
With a toothbrush?
Yes, with a toothbrush.
Like a regular toothbrush.
This is in Seattle at Alki Beach. Incident occurred at about 11 a.m. near a restaurant called Salty Seafood.
Gosh.
Seattle Police Department said the woman jabbed a 34-year-old man in the back of his head with the backside of what appeared to be a toothbrush. Both parties appeared to be intoxicated. There was an altercation before the assault. Victim sustained a scratch, put a bandage on his head. Officer saw dried blood. So maybe it didn't actually puncture.
Good.
Maybe it ripped skin off. The way they make it sound like that the toothbrush went into the skull, though. The man
These two
was
had a drunken fight? Is that they have a relationship?
At 11 a.m. on the beach. Hell yeah. I want to party with them. The man was being uncooperative, refused medical treatment. The victim was ultimately released from the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you can jab a guy in the head with a toothbrush and then
They
get
were
released.
just having a fight.
It happens.
They had all their toiletries with them.
Yeah, who's got a toothbrush on the beach?
People who are...
I'm guessing maybe outdoor people.
People
what do we call it? What's the politically correct term?
Unhoused.
Unsheltered? Unhoused?
Yeah. They're in transit.
They were beached. Can we call them beached people?
They had toiletries.
She had a toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ride at a carnival in Mexico called the Hammer. And there's video of a woman falling off of the Hammer.
Is she alive?
Yes, because a dude caught her.
Like this?
Like in a movie caught her. Yeah. A woman was left dangling from a carnival ride in Mexico, nearly plummeted to the ground before a man swooped in to catch her. The Hammer ride could be seen swinging uncontrollably in the footage taken back on April 2nd. The jostling causing one woman to slip out of her seat as a young boy ran down the ramp to the ride with a big smile on his face. Looks like he got off. She forgot to get off. This thing keeps going. I'm guessing the belt was not hooked properly. When the ride flipped over, right? 3 men watching the scene unfold raced over to try to catch this woman. She ended up landing safely in the arms of one of the men before she just hit the ground, able to walk away alive, unscratched, shaken, obviously, but still alive. This thing goes whoop like this, and she comes out. Oh, yeah.
Spins right out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So she's hurled off of this
4
ride.
other riders were injured in the accident. 2 of them were rushed to a local medical center while the other 2 were evaluated on the scene. But this woman, you can see it clearly in the video. There she is.
She's whoops right off the end.
It looks like a pink shirt. And these guys, man, to the rescue.
Right place, right time, right arms.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Last but not least, people misspeak all the time. We do it all the time on this program.
Say the wrong thing. I meant to say that, or say it incorrectly.
Yes.
Happens.
It happens. Most of the time, there's no intent, however. It's just the brain and the vocal cords or the tongue are not connected properly for a millisecond, and something comes out incorrectly.
World Heart Foundation, Linda Blair's name. And a good example right there. That's a good example.
You were actually trying to say Linda Blair.
I was.
But you flubbed it.
I had a moment.
Shaw had several of these over the years. Most famously,
a 35-second shot cock.
He obviously meant to say shot clock, but said shot cock.
He did.
But there was no intent. He didn't intend to say cock. He meant to say clock. So you give him a break. You give him a pass, right? You're like, I didn't really want my kid to hear the C word on the radio.
Whatever.
But it was unintended, and I can giggle a little bit.
Yes.
It happens.
It's a verbal malfunction.
Not the case with this school board member in Tennessee.
Saying it all.
Said, God, you look so hot to a teenage girl at a school board meeting with a bunch of other adults around him.
Like this mic is hot?
Yeah. No,
on or like meant to say
Now, listen. I'm going to play the audio, and you're not going to really hear it because it's right at the beginning. So if you want to hear it, listen closely. It's obviously from like a community meeting, so the sound quality is not that great. But here it comes.
God, you're hot. You know that? Hey, where do you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
There was a comment meant to be, I guess, complimentary by a board member, but has certainly been determined not to be.
As a member of the school board, he is responsible for our children's health and welfare and safety and education. And the display he put on tells me that he should be nowhere around our children.
God, you're so hot. Do you know that? Where do you go to school at? This is in Jonesboro, Tennessee. A petition has now been launched. There's like 40 adults sitting right there at the dais. They're all on the desk. They've all got their laptops. They got their little nameplates. They're all sitting there. They're having a big meeting with the screen in the back. And this guy decides that's the best time to say, God, you're so hot. Do you know that? Where do you go to school at?
To a teenager, by the way.
Yes. A petition has now been launched in an effort to remove. I don't know why you need to go through the rigmarole. You just got, look, dude. You can't say that. You should know that. And even if you're thinking it, you can't be, look.
By the way, the student was there to present her research.
Yeah. Here I am, a girl that did a bunch of research. And
on
this
different schools to the school board. She was going to present her research to the school board. The student's family, by the way, says they don't want to comment. And they're
they want it to go away. I'm sure it's a bunch of stuff they don't want in their lives. But come on, man. This is why they choose the bear, by the way.
Like you can't.
Another edition of why women choose the bear. A petition being launched in an effort to remove a Washington County Board of Education member and the district superintendent over comments made towards a student during a meeting just a couple of days ago. This was streamed on YouTube, by the way, on April 2nd. The board member named Keith Irvin can be heard saying, "God, you're hot. Do you know that? Where do you go to school at?"
As he, by the way, is sitting next to her, also touches her. Reaches over and grabs her and hugs her and like pulls her into him. There's also the physicalness of it, right? That's
directly after his comments to the student. Laughter can be heard throughout the meeting, and then the meeting continues on, seemingly with no acknowledgement. Well, I think people who have never been faced with that situation before, like, okay, and then you're like, was I supposed to react differently? I don't know. Am I going to...
Oh, it's not up to the girl to figure out how to react. That was...
Not long after the meeting was over, a petition was launched in an effort to remove this guy and the superintendent of the school board, a guy named Jerry Boyd. So far, they've got 2,500 signatures.
I'm sure.
Petition says, "It is imperative that we take action now to hold these officials accountable. We demand the immediate removal of both Jerry Boyd and Keith Irvin from their positions on the Washington County Board of Education."
Yeah. Inappropriate comments.
What was this girl, like 15, 16?
Calling her hot while putting his arm around her and pulling her toward him during a live-streamed public meeting. It's
creepy old man.
Right. He says there's a lot of context missing. I don't know how much context you need for that.
You can't say that. You can look, I'm not disagreeing that there is probably a lot more, like maybe knows the girl personally, friends with the fan, all that stuff. You still can't say it, bro. You just can't. You can't. You should know that, too. Like, I'm an official here on the school board. I can't be talking about hot students. You got to know how it's going to be perceived. You just can't do it. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd take that. I was taken out of context.
No, it doesn't matter.
She's a top-notch student board member. She was asking real smart questions, and I reached over, touched her on the shoulder, and I said, "You're hot. You're good. You're one of the best I've ever seen." That's not the context isn't helping, dude.
Man, if I was 20 years younger.
That is not helping.
What school do you go to? Yeah.
I didn't mean anything by it.
What's up, baby?
She was on fire with her reporting.
There ain't no coming back. There ain't no coming back, man.
I was bragging about it.
No.
A lot of context there. Context isn't helping.
Context wouldn't help at all.
I think, he's trying to say you were hot in your delivery, right? You're on fire with what you're saying.
You're on fire. Okay. You're hot.
You're hot. What school do you go to?
Yeah. Then he follows it up with, "Where do you go to school? What's up? What time do you get done with class? Huh? You need a ride home?" Come on. Context. Bad news with happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website. You can head there for all of our contact info. You can download the apps and get in touch with us that way. Whether it's the 92.9 The X app or the 95.7 The Rock app. Got an email from Quick Trip letting me know that on National Beer Day, that's today, April 7th, you get a free Bud Light or Budweiser 25 fluid ounce can. Or a free Miller Lite, Coors Light, or Coors Banquet 16 fluid ounce aluminum pint at Quick Trip.
National Beer Day.
Also got a text from Festival Foods. Said it's kind of the same thing. 2 free Coors Banquet bottles, 12 ounces. Cheers to National Beer Day. Valid today only. Limit one offer. Must be 21 or older. You feel like driving around town all afternoon?
You could just pick up beers here, beers there, beers everywhere.
Get yourself a 12-pack.
Now, we did say that maybe breweries, local breweries in your area, support some of those breweries. Have some different beverages today.
Got a text from Paul. Said, listening to the show from South Padre Island, right on the water. Our view for the week. Look at this. Look at this. Right there. That looks nice. I asked him about the temperature. He said, currently it's 68 with a high of 74 today. Found an Irish bar with food. Reuben sandwich. Hell yeah.
Man.
I'm jealous. I'm officially jealous of Paul.
Thank you for the communication. Don't forget the apps are a good way to do that because the win stuff button's right there. Voicemails, you can leave us those on the apps, and you can also send us photos maybe of your, maybe not the ocean view, but, whatever you've got to send photos of.
Got a text from a guy earlier. Said, what does Grant think about the dumbass twins? F the poll ads. And we asked him about that, and he heard it. Said, thank you. Somebody said, Sandlot. This is the guy who thinks that Hunt for Red October is a good movie. Sandlot was horrible. I would rather watch Hunt for Red October. And I said, you're 100% wrong, and you should probably never text me again. So hopefully that puts an end to that. Got a text from Brandon. Was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 2 years ago. Was at 450 pounds with an A1C of 19.2. Got put on Ozempic. I'm now at 230 pounds. A1C of 5.2. Been off lots of blood pressure meds.
That's great news.
Only take a pill for diabetes. Definitely a game changer for me. Though the side effects were less than desirable, worth it. Feel great. Can keep up with my 12-year-old son.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Got a text from Jim who said he gained 10 pounds since he left the military.
Yeah, well, you're probably not doing as many pull-ups.
Yeah, he said, I don't miss running every day. Again, you were in the military, dude. You were eating when you were told to eat. You were running when you were told to run.
You're
it's
retired.
A different story,
Enjoy
man.
it a little bit.
Got a text from Wendy who said, Zepbound is a game changer. Best thing I've ever done. Matt texting in said, that could have possibly been one of the most disgusting sentences I've ever heard. Did you say 21,000 or 2,100? Either way, still ridiculous. When I first saw the bill, it looked like $2,100, and then my wife said, "No, that's $21,000." Each shot of Sky Rizzy that I've taken, the five, have been $21,000.
No, I know.
I haven't paid for them because of insurance, thankfully, knock on wood. But it is ridiculous. However, I will say, if I had the means to pay for them and I didn't have insurance, I would pay for them because they 100% work for me. My psoriasis is gone.
I know.
I am no longer leaving a flaky mess everywhere I go.
You're not miserable.
I'm not miserable with pain 24 hours a day. At least not from that. I am now from my stupid shoulder, but I'm getting old, so that happens. But yeah, medication shouldn't cost. Well, it's like my wife and I actually had the discussion yesterday about cancer, right? If they could cure cancer, right? Then you have to give it away for free, right?
Well, this shot, it's very
because you can't charge people to cure cancer, right? You can't be that company. But there will be.
Oh, for sure.
We also had a lot of other text messages about GLP-1s and stuff like that. And Jason and Brenda and a bunch of other people. Thank you very much for all of the correspondence. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.